All right. So, welcome everybody to today's Mara Mastery session. Uh, I'm not Stu, but I'll be hosting this session today. So, if you guys were on the midweek update call, that's a call that I've been doing on Wednesdays. I'll live stream that Instagram and YouTube and a variety of places. One of the stocks that came up was Reddit. And Reddit is a stock that we've been following for a little while. And so we're able to dive quite a bit deeper into the analysis of it than what I'm able to stream on social media. But Reddit is a recent IPO. It IPO'd back in late March. And one of the first things that struck me about this IPO coming into earnings was the moving averages. Now, did anybody here that's watching this live? Did you guys catch the midweek update?
No.
No?
No, I
Anybody?
did not.
Okay, great.
No.
So, one
No,
of the
I didn't.
point one of the points that I was making on there had to do with the moving averages. Well, what can you tell me about the moving averages that we have on the chart right now? Uh, just so that way you know, I think most of you do know, this is the 5, this is the 10, that thin green one, and the purple one is the 21.
What's
They're
the
all
yellow
in
one?
uptrend trends.
Say again, Tish?
They're all in uptrends.
Correct. Correct. Gold star. You
Mike,
should have been
what's
on
the
the
yellow
you should have been on the call earlier. The yellow one is not a moving average. The yellow one is an annotation showing that this is in a what I'm seeing as a cup-shaped base, or the early
Yeah,
stages
yeah.
of a cup-shaped base. And there's a couple of things that I've marked on here too. I'm not sure if you could read the print on this, but there's two pivots. There was a pivot down here and one right up here. Now this is what I would consider to be a low cheat, and this is a standard cheat. So if you're familiar with Mark Minervini's work, he talks about cheats and low cheats, and they're basically ways to get in early on a cup shaped base. Because what happens with a normal cup, right? Not a cup with handle, but with a cup, you end up with this U-shaped pattern, and it breaks out near the top, and then it goes. And the challenge with those is that there's not really a clear area of support near the pivot, and so it makes it challenging for, well, where the heck am I going to place my stop on this thing? And that's one of the reasons why I often end up passing on a cup-shaped base, unless if it's blasting through that pivot with loads of volume. Then I know, all right, I could reasonably put my stop at the day's low, provided that this thing is taking off like a rocket and there's all that volume down there. Because if it's taking off with loads of volume, then it shouldn't undercut that day's low. But when you have these cheat areas, there's typically areas of that we could look at as support. So down here, this might be a support area. So I'll just make this one in red. And then on this, well, we might consider this to be a supportive area. But let's take a look closer at the 30-minute time frame, because this is where often the rubber meets the road. And the reason why, particularly for swing trading, is that there'll be these for swing trading, and I'd also say in IPOs, because the time frames are condensed. So when we hop on over to the 30-minute time frame, hopefully it looks a little clearer here, where you can see that price for the, let's start with the first cheat area down here. So how can I make this clearer? Let's zoom in a bit and we'll look at this. So you can see how price hit its head on this spot here once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, and then finally got above it here. Is that much clearer?
Yes.
Okay, great. Now, that's one element, right? Well, where is price finding resistance? But price was not just finding resistance over here. This line is also significant because if we go further left, this was almost a support area to the penny. So when we see levels like that start to line up, it makes them more significant when price can finally break on through. And something else that's happening at this pivot, just like it happened at the earnings one, which we're going to take a look at in a moment, the moving averages are are curving up, right? Even though it's not in order, right? You have the 10 above the 5. They're both starting to turn up at this point. So I think that that's worth noting. Now, when we come over to the main sheet, or before I go on, is there any comments or questions on this over here?
No.
Alberto, Darren, Sal?
I mean,
No, I don't
for me, that sheet is pretty tight. I wouldn't have taken it, but it's pretty advanced entry point, in my opinion.
Yes, indeed, and that's why a low cheat is one of the things that Mark highlights as what he calls an expert buy. Because in order to do them and to do them properly, you should be trading for a while and have a very good feel. Like this is not the one where if you're new or if you're still mastering like just a handful of setups, this part isn't really for you yet, right? You'll get there, but that's fairly advanced. When you start to come around the bend, right, let me take off this red line there for a moment. When you start to come around the bend and then you start to consolidate some more, this is making your standard cheat area. And this one is a little bit easier to use because you're not turning the corner, you're already in an uptrend. And you're able to tell that you're in an uptrend in a variety of ways. One might be seeing that you have a series of higher highs and higher lows being made. You might see that you have the moving averages stacked on this side, where you have the 5, the 10, the 21, and you might see them all starting to curl up. Something else that was fairly good on this particular chart, and this, I'm just going to delete this up here because it's bothering me. Something else that you might have noticed on the right side of this chart is that you have a little bit of VCP action in here coming into earnings. Now, with this cheat area here, right, the price gapped up on earnings. And at this point, when it's gapping up like this, above the pivot, and at that point, it was what it was about. It opened at 52 and change. And so you would have, to have a stop near say the 5 EMA or below any one of these bars over here on the 30-minute time frame, you would need a 6 to 7% stop loss. On the daily time frame, To make this a little bit bigger, let's get that out of the way. This stop loss here is kind of in no man's land on the daily time frame, so you're really working off of the 30-minute at this point. Now, for those reasons, if price is gapping up like this and I don't have a clear spot for where to place my stop, I'll pass on it at that point, and I'll sit and wait. But it would still be good. Let me finish this point and I'll come back to you. So at this point, like if price is gapping up like this, it's better to sit and wait. And if I were more on the ball coming into today, I would have had an alert set on this right here to bring awareness, right? Like just to, like how I have BV, right? Like I still have the alert set on BV. This we were talking about BV yesterday. I still have that alert set, and earnings is today, or I believe it's this evening or tomorrow. But when we have a stock that we're watching, if we set an alert on it, it could bring awareness, and then when that alert goes off, we could see what price is doing. Okay, price gapped up. I know I don't want to buy it here. But if price pulls back towards that pivot, then it might give me some potential plays. Now, in this case, price did pull back to the pivot. But even here, right, maybe if you're aggressive, you're starting an entry at as it's pulling back and setting a tight stop of 1.5%. If that's in your playbook, and I can't emphasize this enough, if it's in your playbook, you don't want to just be buying something because, well, I looked at this one and it's on the radar, so let me just buy it. Whatever is in your playbook, that's what you should be doing. If it's in your well, if it's a setup, right, a technically based setup, if it's something that's fundamentally based, well, whatever's in your standard playbook that says that, okay, I'm going to have a set of parameters here. So that way I'm turning my trading, not just trading as a hobby, but I'm actually making this a business where we wouldn't just be, Alberto's heard this analogy yesterday, right? Like if we were, if we had a retail store and we were selling dresses, it would be pretty weird for us to have bubble gum at the register all of a sudden. We want to have a standard operating procedure for, well, how we're going to be doing things. And so if buying this as it's pulling back is one of the plays in your playbook and you've studied this, fantastic. God bless. If not, then I wouldn't recommend it. And for me, just buying as it's pulling back like that isn't. But had I had the alert sit on here, I might have seen this. What's happening here? Price is pulling back. Price is pulling back on lower volume right in here. So there was an opportunity to say, okay, I'll treat this as a breakout level. I'll set my stop around the low of the day. And this is getting me in with a very tight entry, 2.5%. Price was able to run up a bit on this, about 4%. Now it's pulled back. Even still, that would be fairly aggressive.